So, Hyperant has released yet another update, and in my opinion, it's one of my favorite updates of all time. For once, this update didn't give us a ton of formable and missions to make, but instead, it completely rebranded the entire research system. So in this video, we're gonna look at everything you need to know about this new update and how to master it. The main thing that's new is that you can no longer research things instantly. Instead, you need to wait a certain amount of time and then spend all of your technology points in order to research something. Your base research output is now of 15, which will be gradually spent as you research more and more things. You can research as many technologies as you want. Green means that you have the right amount of technology points income in order to complete this one. Yellow means that you don't have enough, but it will still complete itself, just much slower. And then red, you don't have enough technology points. Some technologies can actually be researched multiple times, which you can also right click them in order to research them one by one, which is a very big change compared to like the usual increased tax production 1, 2, 3 and 4. It's all in one and makes it a lot cleaner. But of course the bonuses tax and don't change a lot, while before they just gradually got up as the price did. I think now it's the same exact price. You will always have to spend, by example, 300 political power for the same thing 5 times, for example, so a total of 1500. There is a new diplomatic option called research sharing agreements that you can either sign with other countries, and it will increase the research efficiency of any technology that you don't have but they do, and vice versa. I've played a little bit with those and I think they stack with each technology. If you have agreements with multiple countries, then it will stack and give you insane bonuses to research something, so I think those are really good. Even if nobody cares, you can also force it through a subjugation or liberation war. But really, who actually cares, because nobody does those kind of wars. After researching a technology, you will have access to the gain, which is the amount of research points put into that technology, and the efficiency allows for extra points to be added. The gain is generally set to 7.5, but it can increase through other things. Generally, anything related to research is going to improve this. We also have a brand new leader, the Education Minister, which gives us even more research. The impact of these updates are massive. Arguably the most important part of the game has been impacted, in a relatively negative way, because this serves as a massive nerf to technology. Not only you cannot research them at the beginning, meaning that their effects are delayed by a lot, it also makes research and technology yet another thing you have to worry about. And I can very well see why many people are against it. But I don't think the meta is really changed that much. I think it remains the same, it is a lot slower to apply. I think you will still have to research infantry and tank tech as soon as possible. But I think you wanna go for the later technologies first, because their bonuses are a lot bigger and more impactful than the other ones. But I've also seen that it's a lot easier to actually get nukes, and I think you can get nukes by 2030 in some places. But it really depends if like everything is going very well for you. Other than that, I think you're gonna have to wait a lot of time in order to get nukes. This update has also introduced tier 9 and tier 10 city tiers, thanks to Archaeology Architecture, which gives you 1 extra city tier per research, but also yet another justification slot through mass patriotization. This would mean that technically you would be able to gain 5 justification slots. you get the base 2, fascist gives you a third one, as well as mass patriotization, then that's 4, but also there is the shift justification, which can give you 1 if you level him up enough. To be honest, I don't really know if you really need 5 justification slots. I think this kind of is a reality check, because now technologies are fully realistic. Like, you don't just randomly research something one day from another. It just researches itself for a bit and then you have it. So yeah, but this is still a very big nerf to technology. Technologies are also a lot more worth it late game, because you can research a ton of technologies all at once, because you will have access to a lot of resources and other things. Making technology from something that you can get really early on to something that is feels a lot mid-game, which is... I don't know how to feel about that one. But big shout out to the tank research tree, because most of those technologies actually will make tank upkeep higher. So not all technologies have just bonuses, some have also negatives, like this one. I do think improved refinement is an absolute bonkers technology, because it allows you to have factories require less resources in order to produce stuff, which honestly is very OP. This will mean that you can basically do enriched uranium with not even, I think even only 10 uranium required. So I think nukes are actually a lot easier to achieve and get as a result of this update. I think there's also another research which allows us to reduce the military upkeep, which is honestly something I've wanted for a long time, because sometimes it just kept being bigger. I think it's divided into 20 different technologies with a total of like 20% military upkeep reduction, which is massive actually. I do also think that there's a lot of technologies which, in my opinion, have brand new unique things, and honestly I haven't checked all of them, so I think there's one about reinforcement manpower cost that's lowered for the infantry tree, and maybe some other things about a navy or aircrafts. Honestly, I need to test this update out, because it's actually pretty massive if you were to think of it. So yeah. I did say that most of the update focused on technologies, which is true, but there's also a lot of other things that have been added, some which are pretty important actually. You first off have a change for investments, which can increase population growth and tax income on cities where you already have maxed infrastructure or city tier, as well as existing mines or factories, which is honestly a slight buff to investments, which is only gonna be applied to late game. Party loyalty laws will have an impact on the stats political leaders will give you, which is a slight buff to high and maximum party loyalty. You also have resource subsidization maluses that have been reduced, as well as tax income that has been reduced for many laws. Maneuver warfare doctrine has been significantly buffed by reducing tank upkeep modifiers by a lot. And honestly, this is the only thing that I despised about that one, because it promoted fast expansion, but then again, it was really difficult to keep up an economy, but now it's a lot easier. Tanks have been nerfed if you go a static line, or actually only their attack. Naval ships will deal more damage to artillery, but attackers will also do a lot more damage against naval ships. Artillery has been nerfed because it no longer gets attack bonuses on fortifications, and artillery damage now decreases the further it is away from other units, and it is down to half at its maximum range, which is a massive nerf actually now that I think of it. and that's basically everything there is to this new update. In my opinion, it is a massive update. Like, this just basically came out of nowhere. I think Hyperant did some testing 1 week ago, and then yeah, this just released. I am not saying that this is a bad update at all. Like, in my opinion, this update will be really fun to try out and figure out what is best to do it. But I think it came very quickly, and it's gonna take everybody a lot of time to just figure out what's happening. So yeah. Anyways, that's it for this update. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you did, then please consider giving a like and a follow. It would help me out a lot and I'd really appreciate it. Anyways, yeah, see you in the next one, and yeah, goodbye!